Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Shayna Cersei. I'm so excited to paint with you. So we're going to do another page in our watercolor journals. Our last video was doing this quick eye doodle tutorial, so you can go check that out. But we're going to move over here to the other side of the page, and we're just going to do some fun blending of colors. We're going to do a kind of a silhouette, like a spooky Halloween scene of some kind, but I'm going to blend a bunch of colors in a sky together and doing some kind of variegated washes where we're blending colors together. So I'm just going to clean out this palette a little bit. So for supplies and materials, what am I using? I am if you're new here, I'm using a 6x9 sketchbook, watercolor sketchbook. So the paper in here is 100% cotton, and it's a 140-pound cold press for the weight and the texture. I'm using my Core QOR by Golden watercolor palette. This is my large palette of 24 colors. I have a smaller one of 12 that I like to use as well. Whatever brand watercolors you prefer or you use would be great. What else? Brushes. I have a set of round brushes right now that I'm using. Velvet Touch by Princeton, a 4, a 6, and a 10. Work great for a lot of different versatility. And of course my water and my paper towels. All right, so let's get started. I am going to be doing a very vibrant kind of sky. And should we do a moon? Let's do a moon. I haven't done a moon in so long. This is about the right size. So if you have a round object, tape rolls are really great. Go ahead and pull that out and just trace it. So this is going to be kind of a smaller-ish moon. I usually do really big ones. They're fun. So this is going to be the moon, but I'm also going to, let's see, is it going to be fully risen? No, and we're going to cut it off here. So that's where my ground is going to be. And then in front of this moon, we're probably going to put some sort of house. Or you could do like a arched back cat shape. Let's just do, I don't want to cover up the whole thing, so I'm going to do like this kind of spooky house. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. This is all going to be in silhouette, so you don't have to worry about the details too much. Let's make it, we'll put a door here with a window in it that you can see through. We're going to put a window here. We're going to put a round window here. Again, this is kind of all messy and funky. Let's put like a weird shaped chimney thing out there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. You won't even see this whole door because it's going to be in silhouette. Oh, but let's put some windows in here. So anywhere there's a window, we're going to see through it. We're going to paint over this whole thing. You can always change it later, or not draw anything at all and put it on at the end. Okay, hope I haven't confused you too much. So for the moon, or actually, yeah, let's do our moon first, or do our background first. So for the background, we are going to kind of paint around. We're going to pretend this house doesn't exist, but the moon does. So if you need to mask out your moon, especially because I'm working in this really tight space, you might want to do that. So I'm going to start with yellow. So this is a gamboge yellow. And I am just going to go from here up. And then I'm going to blend this out with water. This is definitely more difficult like when you're going around an object versus just doing the sky from like top to bottom. Again, the house we're not worried about because that's all going to be in silhouette later, but the moon is going to be the lightest thing on the page, so we do have to worry about that. I can see I'm even getting over here on my other page a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to introduce a little magenta. Start here, work my way up. At the very top, we're going to do purple. So the magenta and yellow, when we blend them together, are going to be some orangey colors. The trick is to keep both sides of this damp or wet while you're working. Blend this down a bit. And let's do some Diarylide purple, not Diarylide purple, Dioxazine purple at the very top. And we're going to bring this down a bit into our magenta. You certainly could introduce some black or Payne's gray at the top. I just put a little bit of that in there. Make it even a little darker. Should have put a piece of tape there. Oh well. All right, so I'm going to start. Perfect. And now I have this whole ground, this foreground that I didn't think about because I started my moon up so high. But basically, I'm going to do this in black. Or Payne's gray. This is Payne's gray. My edge is still a little damp there, and the Payne's gray is bleeding into the yellow a bit. That's okay. All right, and then we're going to have to let all of this dry. This Payne's gray is probably going to need another layer. And actually, you know what I'm going to do here? I am going to pull out a little color right at the base of the moon. And we're going to make this darkest on the outside, but like the moon is casting a light on the ground. Not a full reflection because this is the ground, not the water, but just... All right, we'll let it all dry and we'll come back and readdress. All right. All right, we're back and everything looks a little bit sloppy right now, but that's okay. We're gonna do our best to redeem it. So we're gonna tackle this moon itself. I'm going to be using just clean, and I covered up the eye just so it wasn't distracting looking at you, judging us while we paint. I'm going to put clean water inside the moon. Now my edges are a little bit rough. I wasn't as careful as I could have been. So I'm going to do my best to just blend that out, and we'll see if we can incorporate them better after we add color here. We'll put the edges of the moon are going to be the darkest, even though they're still going to be very light because the moon itself is glowing bright. All right, lots of water in there. And now I'm going to take a combination of very watered down yellow. So, and you know, maybe a little pink, maybe a little orangish, because that's what these edges are over here. So I'm going to drop that in around the edge to kind of mask my mistakes a bit. This part you're not even going to see, it's going to be covered up, but still important. All right, so we've got this kind of mottled, let's see if I drop in like even darker over here. Okay. Now I'm going to take some Payne's Gray. And I'm going to start to drop it in to create the kind of craters on the moon. I know it looks super dramatic, but as it dries, with this wet on wet, lots of water in here, be nice soft transitions. I'm going to put a little over towards this edge. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to put on the silhouette. We're going to darken the bottom as well. And then if we feel like we have to darken this part around it, we can. All right, we're all dry. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, size 6. I'm going to get lots of Payne's Gray out. Nice and concentrated, just enough water to make it flow. It's still very dark. And if you want to use black for this, you definitely can. But I am just going to start to paint, and I'm going to go around my windows. The windows we're going to see through whatever was in the background. So that's why we painted right over it. So and I am going to go down below the horizon line a little bit. This is going to be even darker than the ground. I paint right over my door, but not the window to the door. We'll go ahead and put in the little details of the window panes after. And this too, you might want to do a couple of layers possibly. So as we put darker and more contrasty things in, this silhouette, play with the ground line. That moon starts to shine a little bit brighter, or feels like it's a little bit brighter. And your house can look like whatever you want it to look like. I'll leave a little gap between that and this tower over here. And this is just a fun little illustration in the spooky season. I think I'm going to try to do like a witch's hat next with some flowers on it. We'll see. That might be the next video unless I can't figure it out. Right, I'm going to put in some of these details. I think I'm going to try to make where the door was a little bit darker, so you can barely see it, but you can tell there's a door or something else there. Put our little chimney. You could even add some like fun other little details, like we could do some gravestones, just some like little shapes. Like that, and we'll add some shadows in front of them in a minute. We could add, I'm going to use my rigger brush from this, but we could add like a little fence around them. So like an iron fence. Just go right over top. And we'll do so basically that's the fence on the other side. Could do let's do like a big, oh, I need that a little thick. Spider web kind of coming across here. We'll hang a little spider. There we go. So you can keep playing with all kinds of little details. I'm going to put another funky chimney up here. There we go. And you could even think about putting some things inside your windows, like, oh, I don't know, a person, like just the silhouette. Let's see if I can make it work. The silhouette of a person, like standing back here, creepily staring out, just a head and some shoulders. There we go. All right, we have our spooky little house with a big bright moon in the background, this funky sky. You can do your sky in any colors. If you wanted to do it all like navy or black, you could definitely do that. But have fun with it. So there's a little spooky kind of Halloween-esque illustration. Let me do really quick. I'm just going to give these little shadows on the ground since that big moon is way behind it. And even the fence gets some light shadows there. There we go. All right, I think we're done. That was fun. So last time we did this and this time we did this. Two totally different, very opposite ends of the spectrum of watercolor painting and illustration. But that's what I love about my journal, that I can do whatever I want in here and I can play and have fun. And there's no particular style or piece that I have to go for. I can just do whatever I want. So that's what you get when you start to really play with different things, and you can learn so much. So these are like all different things that we have done, or things that you haven't even seen, that have been done in our journals, and they're all very different and lots of fun. So thanks for continuing to paint with me, and we'll get to another watercolor journal page very soon. Don't forget to check out the description for links to supplies and materials. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you for our next page very soon. Take care, y'all.